So that's the show. Awesome.
You should
Nice
do
job.
K, but like Spanish K, like QUE. Forward mind. K?
Okay.
K. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. All right. There we go. Somebody asked about asparagus initiative. Blah blah blah. What is it? Asparagus. I don't even know anymore. Our raid team. You'll be contacted. I have no idea. I'm not the raid leader, so I try not to be the raid leader. It's too much.
I have crumbs all over my desk right now.
From the cookie from earlier?
Well, I needed to make it like at least sound like I was opening it, because it wouldn't translate to the audio only.
Sure.
So I really have fortune cookie crumbs all over my desk. Unfortunately, it is in my keyboard, and I'm actually pretty good about not eating here. So I'm now like, this is so gross.
Do you have one of those? Do you have one of those little tiny keyboard vacuums?
I have a Dyson. If that can't suck it all out, then
It'll suck up your entire keyboard. Just shred it.
I love my keyboard.
What do you have for a keyboard?
I went. I have a G710. So I actually went. You probably can hear it, but I went mechanical.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I didn't realize truly how much of a response time difference there was until I got it, and I was like, son of a bitch, how did I wait so long?
Right. Oh, we've got the dog going off again. He's gonna bite Derry's face off.
Hopefully.
And I bought myself a Logitech, which I need to figure out how to use.
Oh yeah, is that the 600 or is it the G600? I think it is.
No.
650.
No. Oh, it is a G600, yes.
All right.
My problem with it, I plugged it in, tried using it. I need to do this not on regular RAID. Because there's actually, I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's 3 buttons. There's one here, here, and here.
Yep.
And the way I hold it normally, it would be like this.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't actually hold it that way because this function, the far right button, acts as a shift or a control modifier.
Oh.
So I tried using it, and normally my prayer of healing is shift right click.
Yeah.
Well, what ended up happening is when I went to hit that button, it was because my ring finger is very weak compared to the rest of my fingers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is I'd depress it, and then I would just graze it enough to trigger the control button, which then caused me, instead of prayer of healing off of my tank, I life gripped him.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So I need to either turn it off, which is what I'll probably do, or rebind it to something else. I don't know, because it's bigger than the Naga, which is why I like it, because my hands are actually pretty big. Oh my. So when I had a Naga, and then I ended up selling it on eBay after trying to use it, but I kept on like totally hitting.
Raid without my Naga. I love it.
Well, and I know that Coltrane just got his left-handed Naga, and he
bought like 4 of them.
Did he?
Yeah, just in case, because he's like, they've never done this before. I gotta get them, and I can't ever get them again.
Keep them in the box.
4. Yeah,
keep them in the box so that they're always good.
In case it breaks, I've got 3 more.
Well, and he's like getting used to him, and he was like, whoa, wait, hold on a sec. What is this? What is going on? Do I like this? I don't even know if I like it.
So many buttons.
Was he raiding lefty normally?
Yeah.
Okay, he was
left-handed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know lefties who raid with the right-handed mouse because they've always had to.
Right.
And I think that would be a bigger learning curve than the mouse, but all of a sudden having to use the mouse left-handed.
Right.
No, he's always rated left-handed.
Yep.
So he just uses a regular 2-button mouse?
Maybe it's like a 5 or something like that.
Yeah, there were extra buttons on it, but not.
He can use thumb buttons.
Right. It's probably a little tough.
It would be.
Well, I mean, if you put your, maybe it would be like a ring finger pinky type of thing. I don't know. Even that would be tough. I have no idea. He's a lefty. I don't get lefties. I mean, I'm.
Mines are. That's what I'm trying to do, because
I'm kind of more.
Thumb buttons, and I have everything keybound to it, plus mouse over macros out the wazoo. And I think a lot of it is because priests have so many buttons to push.
What do you no? Well, and priests aren't the only one. I mean, you could say that pretty much about every single class, right? I mean,
I've been playing my paladin a lot, and like I've been throwing my buttons on my paladin, and I'm like, oh, I have empty bars. But I feel naked.
So what do you cast normally on your druid? Wild Growth, Swift Mend,
right? But I mean, there's like lots of cooldowns and like lots of other things where I jump to my keyboard because I don't necessarily hit it a lot, but I'll jump to my keyboard and, Displacer Beast maybe or something like that where you need to get away and you just like do your little druid blink. And then shaman are the same way as well because there's lots of totems, there's lots of different things, and they're all very situational, but you have a lot on your bars.
Right.
And hunters are the same way, just lots of different crap that you can throw out at any given time.
I think my hunter has about the same amount of buttons that my priest does.
Yeah, I actually think I actually did here it is. And this is old. This is an old image of my keybind setup, which is actually, I've added more to it. I'll throw it in here.
And
oh, wow. This is when I still hosted on Blogspot before I actually hosted manually. So this is very dated. Oh, I won't let you go forward. It's going to be really small.
It is really small. I got to get really close to the screen. I need to grab my glasses that Jules got me.
Hold on. I got a better picture somewhere else. Hold on.
Does it say center scroll wheel use Hearthstone?
Yeah. It does. I think it's Healthstone.
Oh, Healthstone, not Hearthstone.
I thought you were telling me to go play Hearthstone.
Yeah, maybe we should go play Hearthstone.
Here we go.
Right now.
Okay,
they should have named it Healthstone. That would have been better.
This is a bit more dated, but better. So,
it's definitely larger.
My keys,
right?
So, everything is married to my mouse. Everything.
Right. Well, that's I all my heals are definitely just bound to the mouse because that's what you do, right? I mean, what are you?
On my Naga or mouse over interactions, things like that.
Are you guys? What add-on are you guys using for healing?
Or
are you using a mouse over?
I use Click.
Click, yeah.
Click and Grid plus countless plugins, and then a lot of mouse over macros for a lot of my base heals.
Gotcha. Especially if you're on the PTR, I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's been I don't know. I've been Grid for a long time, so it's like somebody like, oh, I like Voodoo. I don't.
They have a Grid option. Where you can make it look like Grid in Voodoo.
That's what bothers me. It's like, why wouldn't I just use Grid?
Right.
Same reason why like Bigwigs has a pretend I'm DBM checkbox, which makes me laugh. It's like, why wouldn't I just use DBM then?
And speaking of DBM, by the way, and we haven't really we didn't talk about this. Maybe I can put this into the show later. I have no idea. But the guy who does DBM is in your guild on your team.
He's one of our main tanks.
Right. And that's amazing. And that's all done by one guy?
Almost all of the encounters are. There's really like three folks who do DBM. There is Omega, who does almost all of the basic encounter coding. Mm-hmm. And then there is the guy who does a lot of the UI based stuff, who originally started it. He does a lot of the GUI and all that stuff for DBM.
GUI.
But Omega does most of it.
Yeah.
And then after that, you really have there's this one guy who is on the Korean servers, so he does all the Korean local stuff. And it's funny, if you ever look at the patch notes, sometimes you'll see Omega and the Korean guy fighting. Like, it's like Korean, like literally, like the patch notes will be like, Korean players don't do this, therefore we're gonna have it coded this way for the Korean localization.
Wow.
But there was interesting kind of, I guess not really airing dirty laundry, but interesting story. So DBM and Bigwigs, they kind of got into this, for lack of a better word, pissing contest with each other.
A little scuffle.
Where the Bigwigs guy ended up putting something in Bigwigs that effectively sent a message to all DBM users in the raid that prompted them that your DBM is out of date message, even though it wasn't.
Oh no.
So basically, it's more of a ha ha ha. I'm just messing with your raid. Da, 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 da. So they kind of ended up having this patch notes being fixed stupid ass blah 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 code that they used to do. So it turned into this whole remember the rappers in the 90s, how they ended up having trash talk raps that they did.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what the patch notes for each of the builds for DBM and Bigwigs turned into for a couple of weeks.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it's funny, but I think it's dumb because it just ends up hurting the users.
Yeah, you got to think about what you're doing to the users, and if you're not serving those guys, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I will say that
the new edition of Colt's voice, however, on DBM is amazing.
It's my countdown. It's my countdown. Well, part of the reason is there's 3 countdowns in it. There's Colt.
Yeah.
There is the open source female voice that is available for anything. It's Creative Commons sound that you can just use. And then there's the male voice. But the male voice that's in game currently is our raid leader, is our guild master. So if you pick male voice and it says male voice Mosh, that's our GM. And we can't use that because it totally throws off if he's making a call during countdown or if all of a sudden it's like 3 and then you're like, oh wait, huh? You're so confused because you think it's actually Moshni saying something, but it's just the mod saying something. So I used the female voice forever, but now I've been using Colts because it just is that much more epic.
It is pretty cool. I will say that much. Did you get is it just 5 from 5 down to 1 that you ever have the voice count command?
My voice count. So you can select custom sounds for any event in DBM. You used to not be able to, but now you have custom sounds for any particular event. The default pull countdown starts audios at 5. 6 through 10 only gets said if there is a fight mechanic that counts to 6. So, for example, let's say you're doing Heroic Horadin and you end up getting 6 dire calls. You're actually going to have it count down which dire call is yours. So, for example, or Fist Smash.
Tortoise does it as well.
Fist Smash number 6, that's my barrier cooldown. So when I hear Colt go 6, I know it's mine.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's amazing. And so, yeah, if you ever wonder where DBM comes from, it comes from Something Wicked over on Whisperwind. There you go.
It's fun. I enjoy it. That's why we're doing a lot of the PTR stuff.
Yeah, and so when you guys are doing the PTR stuff, basically you're rebuilding DBM.
Yeah, so there's another mod out there called Transcriptor, which basically is a log mod that will log combat log stuff, but so much more than what if you guys use World of Logs, you just do /combat log, or if you use Loggerhead to automatically do it for you. Transcriptor actually gets a much larger file with a lot more information outside of just that. There's different scripts that get run in the background. There's a command called successful spell cast, and Omega will go into that log and figure, oh, okay, well, big bad boss ability A is called this successful spell cast, and it's every 35 seconds. And you can see it defined every 35 seconds, unless it is synced up with boss ability B happens before that. It delays it 5 seconds. So he actually will go in and go line by line in the combat log and figure out what boss abilities are happening when, which is why he develops DBM that way.
That's amazing. That's really amazing.
I don't know how he does it, but it's great. Literally little things. It's kind of oh, I really wish DBM had a counter for this because I really wanted it. And then okay, everybody, 15-minute break halfway through the night. We come back and there's an alpha build, and lo and behold, so there's that counter that we've all been asking for.
That's amazing. So you can really just kind of tailor that for whatever your team needs.
That's cool. I mean, so DBM is now, I think, fully integrated with 10-ton hammer, and it's hosted over at the EJ boards now. So
cool.
That's something if folks were looking for more dialogue about that, the EJ boards are kind of a new place to do that. And I know EJ is doing a lot of work now that they're more integrated with 10-ton hammer.
Well, that's good because they kind of fell off for basically this expansion, right? I mean,
yeah, I worry about EJ, mostly because they fell off, I would say, before this expansion.
Right.
For a lot of classes. Not all classes, but a lot of classes. And they created their own sources. The DKs have Arcturus. The priests have, H2P and other resources. MMOC's forums have had a lot more developments. It'll be interesting to see what they do now that it's. I mean, I don't really visit EJ anymore. I visit it very rarely. I don't even log in. I just kind of poke around. But it seems like there's been a lot of work happening on the forums the past couple of days. So hopefully it'll be good.
Cool. Well, I hope they come back too, because I mean, all throughout Cataclysm and before that, I think as well. I mean, just a great resource, and I really liked using those guys. And then they kind of fell off, and I was like, well, now where do I go? Felt all lost and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, you got to go to MMO Champion, or you got to go to, if you want to learn basic stuff, go to Noxic, blah, whatever. So even Noxic has kind of stepped it up a little bit more.
I'm not a big Noxic fan.
Not a lot more. It doesn't give any. There's
too
no
basic.
There's no
sometimes
depth.
Sometimes it's very wrong.
There's no depth. That's true.
Right. I would much rather say if they had to go to anything, I think IV is a little bit better than Noxic.
Okay.
But
yep. And MMO champion boards are fantastic right now, I think, for all the classes that I've looked up. So, all right, we should probably get out of here.
All right.
Thank you, chat room, very much. And I will fill in for Colt and say, stay claxy. I do it a little different delivery, so sorry.
Just
stay claxy, chat room. I'll do it more like him. There we go.
So, Darius, did you actually get into a DeLorean to go buy that couch?
Did.
All right, we're out of here, chat room. We'll talk to you later. See you next week. Bye-bye.